Hello, welcome to my channel, I Face Me TV, where we teach millinery and talk about lifestyle. So today we are working on feathers. This is goose feather in fuchsia pink. Okay, so I'm trying to plug it out for us to create something really beautiful. Okay, so once you have plugged out everything, we will need to trim it to shape and sizes. Okay, so when you get one of the feather, the next thing is for you to use your scissors and break in the spine. You see that spine? Yeah. So that's how you're going to break it. Why are we doing it that way? So that you can use both feather. None of them will go to waste. And then you take your tonguing machine and then you coil. Okay, you see how pretty it looks. Let the tonguing machine, let the heat not be so much. Let it just be average. And then when you're trying to coil it, don't use pressure. Just do it gently and softly. You know, feathers are fragile. Okay, so this is what we are going to be doing for all the feathers that we're going to break from the spine, and then we coil. Okay, so both the okay, so you see the other part is the same thing. You're going to coil it, so no part is wasted. We are going to be using both the up part and the down part, and then we're going to use the coiler to coil it. Okay, so you can watch me how I'm doing, treating the feathers softly. I'm not, pressing it so hard or doing it with too much power. Okay, so all of this feather we are going to coil it and make it really beautiful. You can see I'm taking my time to coil. Do not, as I said, do not allow the tonguing machine to be too hot. Once it's too hot, it will not give you the effect that I want. So you see we've done all that, and the other parts we're going to be trimming those not so smooth feather out, and then we coil. Can you see that? Because we are not going to waste this one. Nothing is going to waste. We are using everything to create our beautiful piece. Okay, and then for us to be able to arrange our feather, we'll need a wire. Okay, and then this net. Okay, that's what we're going to use to wrap it. So if you don't want to use the net, you can as well use your thread. You're going to use like 6 strands of your thread to wrap the wire. We don't want to be seeing the metal color of the wire. We just want to see like a pink fabric covering the wire. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm using the net fabric. I cut it out in strands, tiny strands, and then I'm using it to wrap the wire. Okay, once we are done, we'll take all the feathers that we worked with, that we coiled, and then start putting our glue in front, not at the back, in front of all the feathers, because we'll need it to sit and breathe for a while before we start attaching it on the wire. The wire also, we're going to put a little glue. Allow it to sit for a while. If we don't allow it to sit, as I'm putting this feather now, it will be falling off. Okay, so always make sure that it sits, takes hair a little before you start putting your feather. Okay, as you go you put your glue, as you go you put your glue, and then you cover up. It's just so easy. Can you see? So if you have any questions, please always feel free to ask me in the comment section. Any further question whatsoever, I'll be able to answer you. Okay, don't be shy or afraid. I'm here for you. I'm ready to answer as many questions that I can answer. Okay, so as you're doing it, make sure you're arranging it nicely. Okay, make sure that as you're doing it, you're arranging it nicely. It's very important. If you don't arrange it nicely, it will not give you a good effect. Can you see what we've done? Okay, can you see that? So we are doing this in 3 places. Okay, can you see that? So we've used the upper part of the feather to do this, right? So what we are going to do now is the other part. We're going to fill it up under. Can you see that? You see that this other feather has a V, because we broke the feather from that spine. So that's what we are putting under of the same wire, the wrapped wire. Okay, it will just be at the tip under. We're not going to cover everything completely, just the way I'm doing it. Okay, so you see why I said that if you cut and trim the wire correctly, none will be wasted. You will use it to beautify your fascinator and it will come out really, really, really nice. Can you see that now? I've done the 3. See the other side? Can you see? And then see this side. Can you see that it has 2 different effects? So that's what we're going to be using on our fascinator. That's what we're going to be using. Okay, so now we've prepared our feather um, stick, let's call it that way. So what we'll now do is we want to attach this net on our fascinator base. Okay, we want to attach the net on our fascinator base. So what we do is to gather the net at the edge of one side. Okay, you see that the measurement is 18. Just half yard is enough to do a veil on a fascinator. Okay, it's not you don't need 1 yard to do that. Half yard is enough. Okay, so I gather everything together and I'm trying to tack the gathering, okay, so that it comes together just like this. So once it comes together, we put it on our fascinator base. If you don't know how to create this fascinator base, check on my page. You will see where I taught how to mold tsunami, how to create a tsunami, simple tsunami style. Okay, so basically you see that I did the gathers and put it at the center of the fascinator base, as you can see, and then I tack it as many times as possible. Now this is abaca. Somebody say abaca. Abaca. So I got this abaca from the store. It was cream color. I changed it to this fuchsia pink. If you want to know how I did it, it's also on my page. Check on my page, you'll see how I molded the cream to this fuchsia pink. Okay, so I just cut out 6 inches and I'm going to use it to coil the abaca to do like a bow on my fascinator. Okay, and then because the edge will not be so smooth, I try to use my tonguing machine to fold the edge. So now I've done just a bow, just a simple bow, okay, with the abaca, and then I'm tacking it at the point where I tack the net. Okay, that center part, that's where I am tacking it. Why? Because we do not want to let them see the where we tacked the net. Okay, you try as much as possible to maintain that center so that everything you do just goes to that point. All right, okay, so you see that I didn't finish up the wire, I didn't cover up the wire because I'm going to be tacking it at that center also. Okay, so you tack and arrange the abaca in a way that it will cover, the center. Okay, cover all those parts that we didn't put feather. Now if we had put feather, when we are attacking it now, we have wasted that feather. There was no need putting it at that center. Can you see why I did not put? There was no need putting it at that center because we are going to tack it anyway. So instead of me putting feather at that center, which is not useful, we'll leave it empty so that when we are attacking, we have room to tack, and that's what you're seeing me doing there. So I'm just bending the outer abaca to cover that center. Okay, so you have to tack as many times as possible so that you are sure that the feather will not get off or get removed. Okay, so you know that we use fabric to cover the feather, so make sure that as your needle is passing through, it will pass through the wire that we covered. Okay, the wire, I mean the wire, cover with the fabric. So make sure that when you're passing through, let it pass through the fabric of that wire. So in that sense, it has helped us to put this feather in place. Okay, so as you're doing, you'll be arranging it, right? Arrange it nicely so that it comes out really, really, really nice. Okay, so you see, here we have it. I've been able to put those two together, okay, and tack as many times as possible. All right, and then the third one, we're going to put it at the center. At the center, so you can as well, tack it if you want. But if you don't want to tack it, you can glue it the way I just did. Okay, you can glue it. So to cover the center, we spread a little feather around it. Can you see it? Just a little. Okay, arrange it nicely. So at that center, you can put anything. See what I put there? Just a shiny sequence. Okay, so that's what I put. I just arrange the feather at the center. So voila, we have our feather fascinator. Okay, so you can try yours and freestyle yours with this technique. Okay, so make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you for watching. See you.